What's up, everyone? Tokyo Brandon here. WagerTalk's #1 all sports profit capper in 2025, 2024, 2022, 2021. #1 4 of the last 5 years, including this year on plus 75 units right now. That scroller down there has all the specials going on. There is a 7-day special, TB7. If you use that code, you can get 7 days all access for $69. So today is the second Saturday I'm doing this show. I hope everyone had a great 4th of July. This is one of the things that living abroad kind of sucks for me because I don't get to do the fireworks and stuff with everyone, but I did spend the day. I have a baby pool. I put it out in my yard and kind of hung out with my turtle. Kind of celebrated the 4th of July basically by myself. So, these are the kind of days that I don't really like living abroad. I wish I was back home celebrating with everyone, but that's the way it goes. I did win my 5% play, so that was good. Thank you, Johnny, in the chat. So I'm doing the show basically solo on my own. So I appreciate you guys coming. When I share my screen and show you actually how I'm capping, by the end of this show, I will give out several free plays, and I'm actually going to make some plays with you while we're on the show. It's 1 a.m. here in Tokyo, but I've got the green light to go long, so I might extend it past an hour here. We'll see how things go. Because I do have a green light to go long if I want to. So I may do that. We'll see how it goes. And I'm going to go over a bunch of games with you guys. And we're going to do this. We're going to have fun. Hope you guys can hear me. Let's go Tokyo. Thank you guys for tuning in. I appreciate it. Total bases every weekday at 9 a.m. Eastern. We're loving your guys' support, and the interaction with you guys is unbelievable. Management at WagerTalk has reached out to us several times, congratulating us on the great interaction we're getting with our audience. So we sincerely appreciate that from all of you. Currently, we are broadcasting live on WagerTalk's YouTube and my X, WagerTalk's X. And that's about it, looks like. So volume's great. Okay, thank you very much. And let's get straight into the games. I have a 4% play today in Major League Baseball. So if you go down there, you can see wt.buzz/TV is my page at WagerTalk. I have a free play there as well. If you guys follow me, Arigato TV. Yeah. I'll take some personal questions too, because it's just me and I don't have to give the mic to any partners today. It's just me going solo. I'll speak Japanese for you guys if you want. I'll do whatever because it's just me. I hope you guys like that. If you don't like me, then you're probably going to have a tough next hour. But anyways, I did win my 5% play. I lost. I think I went 2-1 yesterday in Major League Baseball, and I won in Asian baseball. So the Ass Man is back. Yes, I am. Huge Seinfeld fan. I'm a huge Judge Judy fan and Seinfeld. I like both of them. My grandpa joke of the day. I don't have any grandpa jokes yet. We'll see. Maybe we'll get there before the end of the day. But let's just go straight into capping some games, you guys. What do you think about that? I am going to share my screen. And the first thing I'm going to do here is share my screen. So bear with me. I can't read the comments very well while I'm sharing my screen. So I won't be able to respond to you guys while I'm doing this. So I apologize. But sharing the screen is important, because I want to show you guys my capping and what I do. So you can see here, this is my main screen for my capping. This is just to cap sides. So as you see, I got Michael Wacha and Ryan Nelson, Arizona here. The first thing I do is I pick the teams and the pitchers. All my stats are updated. And you can see here, I basically do a batting rundown, bullpen, and starting pitching rundown. And then this stat right here is the pitcher's walk to strikeout ratio. As you can see, Michael Wacha walks less than Ryan Nelson, but I have Ryan Nelson ranked higher than Michael Wacha as a pitcher overall. Bullpen wise, I have the Diamondbacks ranked 11 out of 30. And I have their hitting ranked 11 out of 30. I have Kansas City's hitting ranked quite low. So given the good pitching, the next thing I'd like to do is go to check how Ryan Nelson does against these batters on his own. Let me see. Okay, there we go. So I would like to check batter versus pitcher stats here. And it looks like Kansas City has a 438 average against him and a 986 OPS. Anything over 750 OPS is quite alarming. So I will not be going with Kansas City's team total under in this one, although their bats are quite cold. That stat right there would turn me off on doing that right away. The next screen I want to show you guys is as you know, I do outs and strikeout props many times. And so take a screenshot of this because this is my outs for the day. These are all my projections for the day for outs. The yellow column is the book numbers. And this gray column right here is my outs projections. So take a screenshot of that. Maybe it's a little small for you. I can make it bigger real quick. There you go. It's a little bigger. Take a screenshot of that because this gray column is my outs projection. And this column here in yellow is the book. Let me go to strikeouts and you can take a screenshot of this as well. So these are my strikeout. This is the book in yellow. Over here in orange is my strikeout projections. And then over here is whether my projection is over or under and by how much. I also keep track of my records in these things. And as you can see here, my overall, I'm 181 and 155. Doesn't mean I bet all of those. It means it just keeps track of everything I'm keeping track of. I don't put them all out as bets, but my overs and strikeout props projections are 60% win, which comes to about minus 150 odds. And then 0 to 0.5, etc. I have everything there. And then if I scroll down, I even keep individual stats. Like I got Burrows in the blank right now, and my projections for him are 1-0 to the over. And then anything over 2.5 is 0-1. Anything over 3.5 is 62% win. 4.5, 59% win. Over 5.5 is 62% win. So how do I use this number? I will go into that as the show progresses. Hope you guys like numbers like this. It's going to be a little bit dry, but this is how I do my capping. As a matter of fact, I only have one play out today. So I'm going to this off. It's back to me. I'm going to address your comments, and then we're going to go into capping a few games. Again, I can't read your comments. Taking too long. Okay. What's taking too long? I don't understand. TB, what do you think of the Angels on the money line? Wrigley over. Okay, I'm going to address all of these. Even if we don't like you, the GOAT, and even if we didn't like you. What do you mean? Even if you didn't like me, you should like me. I'm not that bad of a guy. Razzle, you lived in Japan for 5 years. That's great. That's great. I've lived here for 30. It's been a while since I came out here. I'm going to be in the U.S. I'm going to go to Arizona, my hometown. Going to be there September 14th to the 20th or so. I'll be spending a lot of time at the casino there, as you know. More Japanese, yeah, more Japanese. So I will get to the Angels game. Let's see. Thanks for showing that to us, TB. Hey, there's more of that where that came from. I'm going to be here for a while, giving you some stuff, some plays. I only have one play out, so maybe I can make some plays while we're here. So some of you said you wanted to look at Korean and Japanese. So let's try that. I'll share my screen one more time, and I'll show you how I actually cap a David. No, I'm actually from Phoenix, but I did go to college in Tucson for 4 years at the University of Arizona. Thoughts on Dodgers Phillies? I will get to that game. Fear and loathing on the wall. I don't know what you mean, guys. What casino? I think it's Desert Diamond. Is that the one out there on the 202? Yeah, let's get to Korean real quick. I'm not going to be able to read your comments while I'm sharing my screen because I'm a one-man show here. Let me see. Oh, you're over by Mountain View? That's cool, Steve. I went to Thunderbird High School, actually, in Phoenix. NPB have a large number of left-handed hitters. Yeah, they do, actually. Hang on a second. Share my window here. We're gonna do some KBO real quick. And so this is the site I use for KBO. It's mykbostats.com. Yesterday I had SSG, which was a win. I also had Kia, which was a win. So that was nice. So let's look at tomorrow's games. The first thing I do is just eye them out and say what catches my eye. Looking at this, let's see. This Hanwha game certainly catches my eye a little bit. Hanwha's been in the dumps for a long time, but they're coming out of the dumps pretty well. Let's take a look. This is my sheet for Korean baseball. And here we go. This is what I use to do Korean baseball. So first I put the team names in. It's Hanwha versus Kiwoom. And Weiss pitching for Hanwha. For Kiwoom, we have Park Ju-sung. Park Ju-sung. Whoops. Park Ju-sung. And my stats are all updated regularly. So this is the long version of my KBO. You can see here I have starting pitcher. I have the starting pitcher career rank. I have a next screen here that will simplify all of this. Season FIP, ERA, WHIP, and K numbers. And then here I have a quick pitcher comparison between the two. And then over here is the hitting. But this is kind of the complicated version. This page is my easy version. So right off the bat, runs per game. Hanwha has a slight advantage on the season, but Kiwoom has a slight advantage in the last 10. And then career starting pitcher career rank, Weiss ranked 1 out of 10. He's awesome. And then we've got Park ranked 9 out of 10. He's terrible. Career whip. And then the walk ratio here. Weiss only walks 25% of the batters that he strikes out, where Park walks 97% of the batters. So basically he walks almost as many as he strikes out. We got the season ERA. Roll over. Season ERA, season whip, and then season walk to strike out, and then bullpen. So bullpen is a huge advantage here. And then the overall rank. So if you're going to screenshot anything from here to do your own capping, I would screenshot this little box right here. That tells you where they rank per game. This is just a team ranking. And then over here, I have out of 10 and overall team ranking. So I like Hanwha in this game a lot. Another thing I would check is how does Ryan Weiss do against Kiwoom? Let's see. Has he faced Kiwoom yet? Yes, he did on the 11th of May. He gave up 0 runs in 8 innings. That was at Kiwoom. Hasn't played them since. And then the next thing I'll look at is how many earned runs is he giving in his latest starts. That's a little bit alarming here. He's given up 7 runs in his last 2 starts. That was against 2 pretty good hitting teams, NC and Samsung. So alarming, but not so bad. Let's take a look at Park, how he's been doing recently. Has he faced Hanwha so far? Yes, he went 2 innings here and he gave up 4 earned, 7 hits. He struck out 3 and didn't walk anyone, which is good. Let's see how he's done recently. It looks like he was a relief pitcher until the end of April. They started making him starts. And it looks like he's given up 2 or more. Let's see. He had a good game there against SSG, but SSG is one of the worst hitting teams in the league. KT also one of the worst hitting teams in the league. He went against these 3 starts were against poor hitting teams, so I'm not going to put too much credence into those. Against LG, which is a pretty good hitting team, he gave up 3. So I have a feeling Hanwha can handle him. So the line's probably not out yet. Let's go to DraftKings and take a look. So I'm just taking you guys through how I do my capping. Might seem dry to you. Sorry about that. Let's see. How am I? Minus 238. That's going to be kind of hard to swallow. So maybe a minus 1.5 at minus 135. But I'm a little bit weary of taking minus 1.5s in KBO and in Japanese baseball because the reason would be because they can end in a tie. So that's Jabroni. It's a little too dry, huh? Well, some people like this, some people don't. Let me take a look at some of your comments. Again, taking a minus 1.5 or a minus 1 in KBO or in Japanese, these games can end in ties. KBO only goes 11 innings, and then they call the game a tie. So if you're giving a run or two, that is pretty dicey. Pretty dicey. So who's the best football cap? I don't know much about football, guys. Let's see. Razzle, happy 4th of July. Thanks. As I mentioned earlier in the show, these are the times where it's kind of difficult to live abroad because I miss the fireworks. I miss being around my own people. You know, I'm American, but I've lived here for about 30 years. So yeah, kind of sucks not being around my own people sometimes, but you know, it's a choice I made, and you can't wallow in your own pity. You have to do what you got to do. Hum another song, bro. Oh, I can do songs. Don't worry about that. Thought my hometown was Davenport. I was born in Davenport, but I moved to Phoenix when I was about 3 years old. So I was actually raised in Phoenix, but I was born in Davenport, Iowa. But yeah, raised in Phoenix. I went to Lookout Mountain Elementary, and I went to Thunderbird High School in Arizona, Phoenix, my hometown. Use the same website. Great. Can I explain the teams start a bullpen pitcher and keep him in for only 1 to 2 innings? This is something I cannot explain because teams use their bullpen in different ways. What I do is I rank the bullpen collectively. In Major League Baseball, I keep a lot more track of who's using what bullpen. But in Asian baseball, it's pretty hard to keep track of because Asian managers will use their bullpen a lot more than American managers do. And are my spreadsheets automated, or do I do it manually? I do everything manually. I spend about 3.5 to 4 hours a day updating my spreadsheets. It's full-time work, guys. I'm the number 1 capper for the last 5 years. So obviously what I'm doing is working to a certain point. But yeah, I do almost everything manually. What is soapy? I have no idea what you're talking about. Put up the questions. Are your spreadsheets automated? And then you're not going to answer it. Well, I just answered it right now. They are not automated. I do everything manually. Some things are automated. Like I'll show you in just a minute what is automated and what is not. But a lot of things have to be done manually. And I spend about 3 to 4 hours doing my stats and my capping. How old are you? I'll be 55 in November. 54 currently. My cousin was locked up in Arizona. That's unfortunate. I've never been locked up. Well, that's kind of true. Okay, let's see. Okay, why not a cowboy hat? Guys, I just woke up a half hour before the show. I took a nap. It's 1:21 here in Japan. Is that dog here Japanese years? I was born in 1970. I'm 54 now. I will be 55 in November. I'm going to share the screen one more time. We are going to wouldn't have guessed I'm that old. Well, depends on what you call old, but yeah, my life is more than halfway over. So yeah, let's go on to some Major League Baseball because Major League Baseball can be a little more fun and a little more, let's see, cut him some slack. LOL. Hey, thank you, Johnny. Thank you for taking my side. But I think guys are being pretty nice today. But it's a dry show. I got to admit, I'm into stats, I'm into capping, and I'm into baseball. So if you want me to jump around and entertain, it's going to be tough. But I'll do what I can to entertain you, but I only have one play out so far today. I'm going to do another play, and I'm going to kind of take you into how I do my capping. Again, look down there. 1 week of my plays, TB7, use the code. You'll get it for $69. And also, the wonderful Johnny Detroit is made a special for me the rest of 2005 for less than $3 a day. So if you go to wt.buzz/TB, you will see that special and my free plays as well. Let me see. Let me get to this question. Any advice for new cappers to take it serious, like full time? Yes, don't be a fan is the first thing, because a lot of people just bet their fandom, and you'll never win that way. 99% of sports bettors lose, and it's because what you have to do is you have to make your own lines and then compare that to the lines of the book. You can't just pick who's going to win. That never works, because just picking who wins, it's like saying I want to buy a Porsche, and you go out and buy a Porsche for $100,000. It's not a good buy. You do have a Porsche, but you spent too much for it. So sports betting is similar to that. You can buy the game that you want to, you can bet the game you want to bet, but you have to bet it at a decent price. So it's just like buying a car at a good price. So that's, I could do 2 hours on that alone. Home run props. Don't bet home run props because they're sucker bets, and I'll tell you why. Ohtani's probably the best home run hitter out there. He hits a home run about once every 4 games. That's about a 25% chance that he's going to hit a home run. If you're getting anything under plus 300, plus 400 for a 25% bet, it's a sucker bet, and you will lose betting long term. Home run bets are nice to bet with your friends. If you're having a beer, if you're going to Chili's and eating dinner, you want to watch a game, you put $10 on a home run prop and hope you can win it. But overall, home run props are for suckers, and you're not going to win long term. That's why you don't see professional handicappers betting, home run props and stuff like that. If you do want to bet a batter's prop, hits, runs, RBIs is a good one. But you got to look at how the batter has faced against that pitcher. And you want a sample size of maybe 30 or more. And if he's got a batting average of over 300 against a particular pitcher, and he bats in 1, 2, 3, or 4, or 5 spot in his lineup, a hits, runs, RBI would be good. Hits, runs, RBIs are better than total bases, because total bases, if your batter walks, it doesn't count for the at-bat, and you only get 3 or 4 at-bats per game. So hits, runs, RBIs much better than home run props. So let's see if we have any other comments. How big is my unit size? How big is your unit size? WagerTalk makes us go from 1 to 5%. So 5% is a max play. When we say 5%, it means 5% of your bankroll. In other words, if you have $10,000 to bet, a 5% play would be $200. So is that correct? Yeah, $10,000. $200 would be 5% of $10,000, right? Correct me if my math is wrong. It's 1 a.m. here. But it turns out to about that. And most of my plays, as the #1 capper at WagerTalk, I usually put out 2% plays normally. And then on big ones, I'll put out a 5%. We only get, at this time of year, baseball season, we get 4 or 5% plays per month. I've used 2 of mine already, so I only have 2 more for the rest of the month. So what I'll do, if I have limited 5% plays, I might put out a 4% play, which I have today. It's the next best thing to a 5% play. So unit size, 4% of your bankroll. If your bankroll is $100, 4% is $4, right? So that's how we do unit size. 5% of 10K is $500. Thank you very much. I told you math is not my thing. 200 is 2%. Gotcha. Thank you guys for correcting me. My units. Funny joke. Okay. Let's go into Major League Baseball. I'm going to share my screen so I won't be able to check the comments too much. So let's go into Major League Baseball. Are we there? Yes, we are. Okay. So as you can see, this is Korean, but I'm going to go back to my Major League Baseball. Here we go. And these are some of my future bets. Actually, I've won 2 of my future bets already. I bet that the Dodgers will have the best regular season record by the end of April, which was a win. 7, Yamamoto gets 7+ wins at -200. I won that future. I've already counted Mookie Betts to get the most runs in Major League Baseball out, because Ohtani has like 90 runs and Mookie Betts has like 50. There's no way he's going to catch Ohtani. I thought Mookie would be hitting leadoff for the Dodgers this season, so that was a miscalculation. I lost 1% on that future. And then Aaron Nola to get 160+ strikeouts. That's going to lose because he hasn't pitched for 2 months now. So if you're not familiar with Japanese, this is a daruma. It's for good luck. And as you can see here, these ones have no eye. And when your bet hits or your wish comes true, you fill in the eye. So all these one-eye darumas are, I'm hoping. So if Yoshinobu Yamamoto has the most wins at the end of the season, I have a 1% play at plus 4,200. So I'll win 42% on that. If the Dodgers win the National League, I'll win 6% on that. If the Dodgers break the 117 win record that the Mariners set in 2001 with Ichiro, I'll win 84%. And actually, Dodgers are on pace to do that. They're going to have 60 wins at the All-Star break. So kind of excited about that. Anyways, let's get to the capping. So as you can see here, I'm going to take you through how I do my capping. So basically I look over the games, and what catches my eye, I just put it in this green box here. So the Washington-Boston over catches my eye, but it was 10, so that's a little high. So what DraftKings lets you do is they let you alt the numbers. So I like to alt the numbers and put it in a parlay sometimes. So the game line for this, let's see. So over under 10 here. That's a little steep. So the reason I use DraftKings is because it fits to my my capping needs. I like to alt team totals, and I like to alt things here and there. So so let's see what if we did this at 8, what would it be? 226, 7.5, 261. Ooh, that looks nice. 7 is 384. So 7 or 7.5, we can put this in a parlay. So I'm just kind of giving you some insight. And chronic walkers. Let me go over walks with you real quick. I have a walks tab here. This you might want to screenshot as well. Any pitcher I have here who has 2 red columns, that means he's walking a lot of people all season and the last 30 days. Gavin Williams is one of the most chronic walkers in all of Major League Baseball. As you can see, Walker Buehler and Grant Holmes also are on that list. Will Warren also makes that list. And then I have the good guys who don't walk very many, which would be 2 blue columns down here. So George Kirby, very good at not walking. DeGrom, Max Fried, Sonny Gray, Schwellenbach, who's unfortunately injured now, Gordon for the Astros, Skubal, and Littell. So those guys don't walk, but Gavin Williams does. And Gavin Williams and Walker Buehler are both starting today. So I have a little thing up here that I project the walks for the day. Unfortunately, Detroit doesn't walk that many people, or they don't take walks very well. So they're a pretty undisciplined hitter. So even though Logan Allen, or I'm sorry, wait, hang on a second. Detroit going against, one moment. Logan Allen, sorry, it's not Gavin Williams. So Logan Allen, not on the walker list. He's not pitching. He's not on this list. So I projected his walks, though, not good. And if we take Walker Buehler, as you can see, he hasn't pitched enough innings in the last 30 days, so I get an NA for him, which is unfortunate. So if I was going to take a Walker Buehler walks prop, would have to be, I'd have to do it by hand. So I'm going to take Allen's bases for balls off this list. That's not something I'm looking for. Walker Buehler. Let's take a look at how Walker Buehler does regarding walks. Because I can't actually project him, but I can take a look at how he's been doing against these batters. Washington Nationals, he's only walked one guy in 31 at-bats. And then let's take a look at his game log. He's got 3 walks, 7 walks, 7 walks. I've never seen that before. So 3 walks, 7 walks, 4 walks. He did have a game where he had 1, 2, 2, 2, 2. So this season he's walking quite a few. So let's see if we can make a parlay out of that. Take a look at 7.5 for the Nationals game. And then let's take a look at Walker. They're not going to let me parlay those together, unfortunately. But let's take a look at how Walker Buehler walks people. Well, his name is Walker, right? So walks allowed. So this is another good thing about DraftKings is they let you play with the number of walks here. So 2+ walks, minus 22. That's pretty good, actually. I definitely can use that in a parlay. So 2+ at minus 220, I think it was. And then Washington, Boston over. I can do 7 at minus 320 or something like that it was. So this is how I put parlays together. Another thing I was looking at was Suarez's walks, but I'll take a look at that in his strikeouts. I'll take a look at that later because that's a different process of doing things. Let me unshare the screen real quick and take a look at some of your comments. How are we doing, guys? We doing okay? I know it's a little dry. This is baseball, though. Walker BB Buehler. Yes. No entertainment. Here to learn. Don't need the entertainment. Okay. He's been walking people all season. He had 7 walks in one game. That's pretty amazing. Who can name this song? Do 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 do. Bump bump. Sitting on a park bench, do do do, eyeing little girls with bad intent, do 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 do. Hey, Aqualung, do 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 do. See, I'm entertaining as well. Steve Duke, you got it. No prizes today, though. Good job. Let's see. Yes, he has been walking people all season. Guys, if you hit the like, I would appreciate it. Also, when this is done, if you look at the replay and just leave a quick comment, I would sincerely appreciate that as well. It's pretty hard to do a show by myself. I have to do the producing, I have to do the questions, I have to do the analysis as well, and entertain you guys. So go over the Mariners game. Yes, we can. Bad you can't use DraftKings in Vegas. I know, in Las Vegas, it's the gambling capital of the world, but you guys are so limited. It's kind of ridiculous. If the homer is sucker bets, then the no home run market should be just the opposite, right? Yes, that's exactly right. So bets that do not offer no's are automatic sucker bets. But most books don't offer the no for a home run market. So that should tell you right there that they're sucker bets. Yes, it is tough to be a pimp. Hit that like button. TB is baseball mainly. Yes, I am baseball mainly. I do basketball, international basketball, like European, Japanese, and Korean basketball as well. There are winter baseball leagues as well. Mexico has a winter baseball league, Dominica and Venezuela. I do those as well, and I'm quite profitable doing them. I'm number 1 at WagerTalk 4 of the last 5 years, so obviously I'm doing something right. My freed season strikeout bet should be a hit. Yes, I agree. Danny, my twin brother. Look at that profile pic. We're twins, bro. Yes, the freed strikeout should hit by mid-season. It's only 1%, though, unfortunately. I should have made that a 4%. I was a little chicken to do these future bets because last year I got my ass handed to me in future bets. So I was a little timid to start the season. How much a month are you to join? Do I do football? I do not do football, but you can get a week of my plays all access for $69. Use code TB6 TB7 when you do a 7-day pass on my website. Let's see. So Jethro Tull, yes, you are correct. Let's take a look. I'm probably going to use that Walker Buehler somewhere in a parlay. Love Dry Money Facts. Great show. Okay, thank you. Appreciate it. I'm not as entertaining as when I'm with the other guys, but you did notice I was right when Brian took the Brewers the other day and I had the Mets. But I didn't rub it. I didn't rub his nose in it. I'm not that kind of guy. Look, if I'm right, I'm right. The facts speak for themselves. I've been wrong plenty of times, and I don't like getting my nose rubbed in it. So I don't rub people's noses in it when I'm right and they're wrong. So let's see what else we got. Can I give a straight pick? My book doesn't give walks. Yes, I will. I will be. Thoughts on using ChatGPT for my handicapping? No, I've never used ChatGPT. The ChatGPT won't give you picks. It says, something like gambling is illegal, and you shouldn't do this, blah, blah, blah. The ChatGPT doesn't do capping for you. That's a moot point. Hi, Nelson. We will get to these. Let's see. Good life. Don't be mean when you win. Yes, exactly. So, guys, when you're on top, it's great. I'm number 1 right now at WagerTalk. It's great, but I could lose the rest of the month and be back at the bottom. Matter of fact, my April this year was one of the worst months I ever had. You got it. It's easy to win. A child can handle winning. Is how you handle losing. It shows your true character. And when I lose, I'm not up here saying, yeah, I kick ass, blah, blah, blah. So I'm not going to do that when I'm winning either, because when you're losing, it shows your true character. A child can handle winning. Anyone can handle winning. So Twins and Rays. Let's take a look at Twins and Rays. So I'm going to share my screen here, and I'm going to show you guys exactly how I do my capping. So there's several things to do when we're capping. Let's see. Shoot, there you go. Okay, so we got Twins and we got Rays, right? And I think Taj Bradley is going against Sands. Sands does not come up in my numbers, probably because he hasn't pitched enough. Yeah, I don't get Sands, so I'll just take Nick Sandine and make it an NA because I don't get Sands. So if I don't get it, I'm not going to use it. But I can tell you that the Rays are hitting a lot better than the Twins. The Rays bullpen is better than the Twins. As a matter of fact, I had the Rays yesterday and they gave it up at the end. Their bullpen blew the game. But Taj Bradley, don't have a lot of confidence in him. I've got him ranked 23 out of 30. And if we look at how he does against these Twins, I always do this. I always take a look. This is not my whole cap, but I do look at how he does against the Twins. Looks like he has a 208 average against on 72 at-bats with a 671 OPS. So he's been very good against the Twins. And let's see how he's done in his recent starts. Looks like he's given up 5 runs against the Orioles, 0 against the Royals, 6 again against the Orioles. So let's throw out the Orioles because he obviously has a thing with them where he can't pitch against them. So throw that out. He's given up 0. He's given up 0 against the Mets, 0 against the Royals, but those are 2 teams that aren't hitting well right now. And then he gave up 7 against Miami, and Miami is a good team that can hit. And then he gave up 0 against Houston. Look, Taj Bradley is very up and down here, so I probably would stay away from this game. I would lean Rays, but I'm probably going to stay away from the game. Let's take a look at what I have in Taj Bradley's strikeouts, because that's also relevant to the cap. And actually, I'll show you how I actually do it. I go to K numbers here, and then I put in Bradley, put in Taj Bradley, and then Minnesota. So you can see here, he's striking out 7 per 9. The Twins are striking out about 9 per 9, 1 per inning, basically. Bradley's going 547 or 54% into his games. The strikeout projection for him is 4.38. And I would also go even further, and I take these numbers from ESPN. and I can them in here. And once I put those numbers in here, I can get right here. So Taj Bradley is striking out 5.1 guys per 9 against them in his starts. And he's walking over here, bases per balls, less than 1 guy per start. So his walks should be under against these guys. His strikeouts should be 5 against these guys, according to my numbers. So I'm projecting 4.3. In his career, it's 5.1. So use that as you like. But I'm just showing you guys how I do my capping. I'm probably not going to do this game. So, but I wanted to show you how I do my capping. Let's take a look at the, let's see, Pomeranz is not going to show up in my numbers, so I'm going to skip the Cardinals here. Some of you were asking for the Angels Blue Jays, so let's take a look at Angels Blue Jays. So the first thing I do is look here. So we got the Angels Blue Jays. We got Scherzer. Max Scherzer probably won't show up. Yeah, he doesn't have enough innings in the last 30 days to show up. And then we got Kuchanowicz. Kuchanowicz doesn't show up either. So this is not a good game for me to cap. I'm not going to bet this game. But both teams are hitting very well and 2 very poor bullpens in current form. So if anything, I would do an over in this game. But I'm not going to. And then I want to take a look at Kuchanowicz's walks, because he used to be a chronic walker, but he's not anymore. Oh, looks like the Blue Jays walk a lot, and he's walking almost 2 per game. But if you go to DraftKings, I'm pretty sure his walk, we're not going to get a good number for Kuchanowicz's walks. I'll just take a look real quick, and then we'll move on to the next game. Kuchanowicz here. Let's take a look at his walks. Walks. Yeah, Kuchanowicz. Let's see, minus 185 for 1.5 walks. To get 2 or more walks is minus 185. That's a little steep, but it would be a decent bet according to this. That would be a decent bet. So yeah, I wouldn't argue against that. Let's do another game, and then I will go back to the comments. Again, I can't read the comments while I'm sharing the screen. Apologies for that. Red Sox Nationals. Let's take a look. Bueller's not going to show up, though. So let's do a game where everyone shows up. Let's take a look at Reds Phillies here. Reds Phillies. Are you ready for Reds Phillies? So we got the Reds and we got the Phillies. Okay, we got Ranger Suarez going against Lodolo, right? Lodolo. Yeah. So, Lodolo, yes. So I got Phillies, huge advantage here. So when I do my capping for a side, you look at this team rank over here. I like this to be 10 or more difference. And these guys are only 5.7 difference. So right off the bat, I'm probably not going to bet a side on this. But I do like to break it down. So batting wise, they're both pretty even at mediocre at 15. Bullpen wise, they're pretty mediocre, pretty even at 20, 22. Starting pitching, Ranger Suarez has a huge advantage in starting pitching. But again, I'm probably not going to take a side. But as you see down here, Suarez's strikeout prop did kind of catch my attention. So let's take a look at Ranger Suarez's strikeouts against Cincinnati. So as you see, he's striking out about 8.4 guys per 9. Cincinnati's striking out about 8.5 per game. Suarez goes pretty deep into the games. So I'm projecting him at 6.5. And I think the book has it at 4.5. So Ranger Suarez's strikeouts might be good. If you look at this column here, this is the outs. So I'm projecting him at 20.6 outs. So this is not the tell-all be-all. I also like to see how he does against this team. So if we go to his career against Cincinnati, he's got a 200 average against with a 533 OPS, but that's only 20 at-bats. So you got to take that with a small grain of salt. But I am going to put his numbers here and see in his career. So his strikeout prop would be 4.8, or his strikeouts in his career about 4.8 per start, where I project him at 6. So I'm a little leery to take a 6.5 or 5.5. But if it's 4.5, I might think about it. One thing to note here, he walks a lot of Reds batters. So let's take a look at walks props for Ranger Suarez here. Ranger Suarez. I'm just walking you guys through how I do my capping. Right at 2. No, I'm not going to do his walks. That's not good enough. But if we look at results, my strikeout results, Suarez. So the book has 5.5, and I project him at 6.5. But keep in mind that in his career, it's only 4.8 in his career. So probably stay off his strikeout prop. But I did write something in that box there that 5 or more, something I'll think about, but I'm probably not going to do it yet. Let's do one more game. Is my audio okay? Let me turn off the screen share. Is my audio okay? You guys can hear me? Everything's good? Okay. Let's see what you guys are talking about. We got 600 people watching live. It's pretty good for a one-man show who's got no producer, doing everything on his own. I feel like a guy like with the drum on his back and a trumpet in his mouth and hitting the drum while I'm playing the trumpet. That's what I feel like right now. A's bats are popping. You got that right. They sure are. But are they going to pop today? I don't know. They popped yesterday. Let's see. Okay. Sounds like you guys can hear me. Okay. Thank you for commenting. Appreciate it. Again, how can we look up bullpen numbers? I'll show you. Well, I have my own way of doing it, but I'll show you. I use Fangraphs for that, and I'll show you next time I share my screen. I'll show you that. So here's a comment from Robert. Considering most starting pitchers only go 5 to 6 innings, do you factor the bullpen into the opponent team total overs? Yes, but team totals are more like eyeball test. So if I'm thinking about a team total, I would mostly look at how the team hits that pitcher. And team totals are always going to be 3.5, 4.5, or 5.5. Not always, but usually. So if you get a 3.5, it's usually going to be a team that's not hitting well, like the Royals, or another team that's not hitting well, the Indians. What are they called? The Cleveland team. So if you take a look at those teams, they're almost always going to be 3.5. So if they're going against like a total tomato can, like Walker Buehler, for example, and it's 3.5, then I would just put 2 and 2 together and say, hey, they're probably going to get more than more than 3.5 here. You also have to factor in the bullpen. If he's backed by a poor bullpen, Walker Buehler definitely is backed by a poor bullpen. So one way I would do team totals, but team totals, more than scientific, it's more like an eye test for me. I don't do sides. I do lots of sides. Actually, my 4% play today is a side in Major League Baseball. So DraftKings is allowing us to parlay Sox over with Buehler outs. Wow. That's interesting. I don't know if I would do Buehler outs. But in that game, Buehler walks, I would be interested in, but not Buehler outs in that particular game. Beware of rust on Scherzer. Absolutely. I definitely would beware of rust on Scherzer because actually, if you look at Scherzer's last few starts, he hasn't been very good anyways, rust or not. So I would be very wary of backing anyone who's older like he is, very injury prone like he is. But man, he throws a lot of strikeouts. So, it's just when you do this for a living, you stay off things that are unpredictable or what I call X factors. I used to be a Major League Baseball scout. And in my reports, I would never put anything in that's an X factor because it's just unknown. And as a capper, we're trying to predict the future. So predicting the future is much more difficult with X factors. So let's see. You want to do Guardians Tigers? We can do Guardians Tigers. Yeah. How do you know the sharps are on Cleveland? And do you know what sharp actually means? What sharp means is people or syndicates who bet a lot of money on games, and books will take that information to shape their lines. That's the literal meaning of sharp. Like you can say I'm a sharp bettor, but I'm probably not moving lines at the casinos, so probably I'm not sharp. But people like to use the word sharp, but what it actually means is gamblers who go to casinos, make a bet, and the casino knows that gambler, and they will use his bet to adjust their lines. Yeah, exactly. That's what sharps are. So yeah, what's up, Tokyo? I hit that 20 parlay for 780. Wow, that's impressive. 20 parlays usually don't hit. So I never do them. But 2-leg parlay I certainly will do. If it's good odds, even if it's bad odds, but if it's valuable odds, if I can get value from it, I will do it. Absolutely. So you want to do Detroit game and Cleveland? Let me share my screen one more time. And I will share my screen so I won't be able to read your comments for a moment. Oh yeah, beautiful girls. Do. I was listening to Van Halen today, so go. So let's talk about the Tigers game. So look, when I look over the games, if there's a pitcher like Bummer here, I know I don't have numbers on him, so I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to cap that game automatically. Brewers Marlins, I do have data on both of these guys. Rodon and Montas, I do have data. I could do that. But let's take a look at Tigers and Guardians. Back to my spreadsheet here. We've got Detroit and Cleveland. Guardians is probably the dumbest team name in all of professional sports. Well, Pelicans is probably the dumbest name. Guardians would be the next dumbest name, and Commanders is probably the number 3 dumbest name. It's just stupid names. You couldn't come up with anything better than that for your multi-million-dollar organization. Okay, Cleveland. Who do we got pitching for Cleveland? Let me get rid of Ranger Suarez here. Who do we got pitching for Cleveland? We've got Logan Allen and Casey Mize. Sorry, we're approaching 2 a.m. here, so my head is starting to give up here. So you remember what I said earlier. I want these team ranks to be 10 or more. Well, this is 10 or more. This is 11.2 difference. So why? Because the Tigers are batting a lot better than the Guardians. And you can see here the bullpens. Tigers bullpen is not performing very well, but the Guardians is actually performing worse. This is current form included. I use a lot of numbers to get these projections. Like I use last 30 days, last 7 days, and then full season, and I weight them on a percent. And the stats that I actually use are expected ERA, WOBA, WHIP. I use about 30 different stats and I group them together. So I've been doing this ever since I was a scout. I use this exact same spreadsheet. And then starting pitching, Casey Mize against Logan Allen. Casey Mize has the advantage. So the next thing I'll do is I'll look at how does Casey Mize perform against these guys through his career. This is not the tell-all statistic. It is important for reference, though. And it looks like in 41 at-bats, he's given up 244 average with an 818 OPS. So this OPS is a little bit worrisome. Anything over 750 to me is a worry, a little bit of a worry here. Yeah, so it's a slight worry, a little bit of a red flag. I definitely would not make it a 5% play. And then let's see how Logan Allen has done against the Tigers. You know, there's an eye test thing too, and there's also the human factor. So I look at what happened yesterday, and recent form. Did anyone have a scandal? Things like that you have to look into. But so yeah, it looks like Logan Allen has been crushed by Detroit. 324 average against, and anything over 10 OPS or 1,000 OPS is horrible. So that's bad. So yeah, if anything, Detroit would be the side here. Couple of red flags. Let's do another game. Let's take a look at, the Astros-Dodgers game. A couple of you were asking to talk about that. We don't know how deep Ohtani's going to go. And after him, we don't know who's going to go in. The Dodgers got crushed yesterday. They were putting shortstops in to pitch the end of the game because they were getting beat so bad. They didn't use any of their good leverage arms though. So they have their good bullpen guys, but their bullpen's not playing well right now. Framber Valdez is the more solid pitcher here. I don't think he's better than Ohtani, but Ohtani's probably going to go 2 innings max, right? Maybe 3 innings. They're trying to stretch him out into a starter. Against the Dodgers in his career, Framber Valdez 159 average against and a 580 OPS. That's amazing. So if anything, I think the Astros have a bit of an advantage. But after the way yesterday's game went, the Dodgers are going to be drooling to prove a point. And Ohtani's a great pitcher. I think maybe the first 5 innings under might be a decent play here. But with 2 powerful offenses, I don't really want to bet an under. So I'm going to leave that game alone. Guys, the difference between sports betting and something like blackjack. In blackjack, they deal you a hand and you have to play whatever they deal you. But in sports betting, we have 20 hands in front of us and we can look at them and pick which one we're going to play. So that's a hand that I'm going to give back to the dealer. I don't want to play it. So which game should we do? Let's do the Brewers Marlins because I know I have numbers on both of these guys. So Milwaukee and Miami. So Miami is one of those teams that can surprise people. They're actually not that bad they're not as bad as people think, but Cal Quantrill is as bad as people think. Who's going for the Brewers here? We've got Chad Patrick. So Chad Patrick, not a lot of info on him, but as you can see my numbers here, both of these guys are in about a 30% walk ratio, walks to strikeout. It's average, not bad. Batting. Let's see. They're both hitting pretty well. Miami, don't sleep on those bats. They can hit. The Brewers are hitting pretty well too. 2 really good bullpens. And 1 good starting pitcher and 1 poor starting pitcher. Again, in the team ranks column, I don't have 10 or more of a difference, so I probably won't play a side on this one. And for over-unders or team totals, both lineups are good, and we got 2 good bullpens, so I will not play a team total or an over-under in that game. So just showing you guys how I do my capping. Let's do the Subway Series here. Let's take a look at the Yankees Mets. So we got New York Yankees against the New York Mets. We got Frankie Montas going against Carlos Rodon. So, Frankie Montas, his numbers don't show up. He hasn't pitched enough in the last 30 days, but I do get his walks ratios here. So Rodon has been pretty good, a little bit above average. 2 bullpens that are not hitting well. 1 lineup that's hitting slightly above average and 1 lineup that's pretty cold. I think the Mets are heating up a little bit, but just right off the bat, looking at these numbers, there's nothing that would interest me in playing this game. Let's see what else we got here. White Sox Rockies. If you're betting that game, you have a gambling problem. Please call 1-800-GAMBLERS Anonymous. Let's take a look at Rangers Padres because I know I have numbers for this one. San Diego. Kolek against Corbin? Yeah. Kolek against Patrick Corbin. So Patrick Corbin was a punching bag for a lot of people, but this season he's pitching actually pretty well. But if you look at my ranking for him, I have him ranked 24 out of 30 on a curve of 30. Not very good. Kolek ranked 19 out of 30. Still not very good, but better than Corbin. Padres bullpen pretty well right now, in good form. And Texas is not in good form. Lineups, man, if San Diego's lineup was hitting, I would love to take San Diego here, but can't because they're not hitting very well. It would be nice to take a San Diego team total over, just looking at the numbers here, or take a Texas team total under. But neither one of these jumps out to me enough. Kolek is having a walking problem here. He's walking more than 40% that he's striking out. So to me, that's problematic. I would not bet that. I would stay away. I would stay away. And if you look at the team rank here, I only have them 2 points apart. Not good enough for me to bet this game. Look at another one. Pirates, Mariners. I don't have numbers on Burrows, so that's not going to be a play. Let's take a no, bummer. I don't have Bummer's stuff. Looks like we've gone over almost all of them. Let me undo the screen share. How are we doing on the comments, guys? Is this what you like? Is this what you like to see? Do you want me to sing and dance, or do you want to talk about baseball? I notice you don't look at a team recent form, like if a team's winning or losing. Actually, all my stats are extremely based on recent form. As a matter of fact, my bullpen and pitching stats last 7 days is almost 60% of my numbers. So recent form is absolutely, I would even say it's almost 60% of my entire cap is recent form. As a matter of fact, if you watch Total Bases, Brian always gets on my case for being too recently biased. One thing I do, no shirtless Diddy, no shirtless Diddy in my videos, guys. Does something feel off? I think we're doing a pretty good show here. What's off, guys? Tell me what's off. SMS, is SMS giving me a problem? Let's see. Alone by heart. Alone by heart. Alone, I never got by on my own. I never really cared until I met you. Okay. You guys like me singing? Okay, let's take a look. Recent form. So getting back to recent form, yes. Recent form is almost all of my cap. What seems off, guys? Are we off today? I think we're doing a pretty good show. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. It's a good show. We need some fireball. Yeah, maybe I need a little fireball. 2 a.m. in Japan right now. 2 a.m. So we're still going strong. I've pretty much done most of the Major League Baseball stuff, but I think I can put a decent. I think I can put a decent parlay together while we're still on. And thanks, Walmart. Appreciate it, man. I know you don't mean any harm. I'm producing. I'm doing analysis and sharing my screen. All of that at the same time. 2 a.m. in Japan right now. Exactly. So give me a little slack here as far as the entertainment is concerned. Mellow pillow talk. Well, I'm not pillow talking, but hey, let's see. I'm killing it. Okay, thank you. Appreciate it. Doing great. Thank you. Yeah, I'm not drinking Fireball at 2 o'clock in the morning. I might have some problems, but I don't need to make my problems any worse. I don't want to be a lonely divorced dad drinking at 2 in the morning. And I'm not divorced, but anyway. SMS, I specifically told you that I cannot read your comments while I'm sharing the screen. I'm producing the show by myself. So relax a little. I'm giving out all of my projections. I'm giving out all of my free plays, and I'm telling you exactly how I cap. I'm the #1 capper at WagerTalk in profit 4 of the last 5 years, and I'm giving you an inside peek to how I do it. So if you don't appreciate that, hey, what can I say? I'm doing everything I can. Found the like button, had to go off chat. Okay. Do me a huge favor though, guys. When the show's done, go to the replay and leave a comment and a question, or click the like. I would really appreciate that. Let me give you some gambling advice from a professional gambler. -1s are a very good way to bet a big favorite that you like, and I might as well be Jewish. I'm not Jewish, but thanks for the comment. Back to minus ones. Let's see, who's Ollie? I didn't notice anyone named Ollie. Okay, anyway, so minus one has been going great. You seem to be losing. I just won a 5% play on a minus one. Minus one is a great way to take about 30 cents off the money line. The only thing you're sacrificing for doing that is if your team wins by 1 run, it's a push instead of a win. So to me, my philosophy as far as gambling is concerned is as long as I don't lose my money, I won. So I'll take a push any day. Have you ever played Pai Gow poker? You push a lot, but it's definitely not a loss. So anyways, let's take a look at some of the other comments. You're doing great. I like the Rays. Actually, about 20 minutes ago, we just went over the Rays cap. I do like them. Taj Bradley can be a little wild, so he's kind of an X factor. So I probably won't take him. DK has cut down on the minus one. Actually, no, they haven't. I guess it depends on where you're at. I'm going to share my screen one more time. I'll show you exactly what I mean by doing minus ones. So, for example, let's say I liked, let's take a big favored team today and talk about them. So who's a big favorite today? Yeah, the Blue Jays are a big favorite. So let's say I like the Blue Jays today. They're minus 205 on the money line, right? That's pretty steep. So if you go to game lines and then just click minus one, it's right here. There's no, DK is not cutting down on minus ones. It's right there. It's there for every single game. They're not cutting down on anything. So we've cut 50 cents off that price. If you like the Blue Jays at minus 205, you should really like them at minus 149. So even take a look at like the Tigers, right? We just went over the Tigers game. Tigers minus 136. That's not bad odds. You could play the money line on that. But if you're stingy and you don't want to play a minus 130, you can take a minus one for minus 107 for the Tigers. So DK is not cutting down on minus ones. I don't know what you mean by that comment. But yeah, minus one is a great way to cut 30 to 50 cents off the money line. And yeah, so Vince, I don't like to put minus one in a parlay because if it lands on the minus one, you take a bigger hit. No, it's not really taking a hit because if it pushes, you just delete that part of your parlay and you win the other half of it. So you're not really giving up anything. What are the top 3 things to make a good sports handicapper? Oh, great question. First of all, you have to be disciplined. You can't bet all of your bankroll. So if you have $1,000 that you're willing to bet, you can't bet it all in one day. So the way WagerTalk does it is great. They make us cappers do 1%, 2%, 3%, up to 5%. So the most we can bet on one game is 5%. So if you have $100, you can only bet $5. If you have $1,000, you can only bet 50 on one game max. So that keeps you from going, what do they call it? Risk of ruin. So how much do you bet before you lose your whole bankroll? So, yeah, discipline is number one. Number two is you have to get rid of your fandom. I like so-and-so team, so I never bet against them, stuff like that. You got to get rid of all that. You got to look at it very cold and calculated. I have teams that I like, but none of you know which teams I like because I never talk about it because it has nothing to do with my gambling. I never bet for or against teams that I like because I like them. I bet for or against them. I went to the University of Arizona. I love the Wildcats, but I'll bet against them if I can make a buck off them. Heck yeah. My bet doesn't have anything to do with the outcome, right? There's probably only one game in my history that I would not have bet against the U of A, and that was when they played Miami in the 90s. I was a senior in college, man. I wanted them to win so bad, and I would never bet against them in that situation. But you gotta chuck your fandom, and you gotta bet like a man, or a woman. I'm not going to be politically incorrect. So the third thing would be don't do sucker bets. So don't do home run props. Don't do that yerfy nerfy crap. Don't do bets that are sucker bets. Basically, avoid the sucker bets. So home run props, absolute sucker bets. Also, a bet that doesn't give you a no option is a sucker bet. If they only let you bet yes, it's a sucker bet. So avoiding the sucker bets would be my number 3 piece of advice. Not all -1s were available. They were to me. So I just showed you like 4 games. They're all available. DK has them available for everything. Maybe in your state or whatever, they're not. I don't know. But for me, every single one. Just bet the dogs? No, don't just bet the dogs. That's not a good way to win money. You have to bet the dogs when you have to have in your mind, I like this line. This is a good line. So like Detroit Tigers today, if in my head, I think the line should be -160 and they're offering -130, that's a bet. Even if they're an underdog. If in my mind, I think they should be -120 and they're +150, great. Then you bet the underdog. Tell these fellas about the Osaka Waka Waka. I don't know what you mean, actually. Sorry, I'm not from Osaka. Let's see. Bet +1.5. I almost never bet plus 1.5. And the reason why is because only like 5 to 6% of the games end in 1 run or less. So I've never bet 1.5. I'll bet a -1.5 if I think the team's going to crush them. But even -1.5, I rarely bet. I'll do a -1. And if -1 doesn't give me good odds, then I'll take it in a parlay. But no, I 0% do +1.5 because I don't think there's any value in it. How many 1-run games are there in Major League Baseball, right? I mean, it's like 5 to 10%. It's not for me. And -1.5, I don't like -1.5. Generally because my team can win and I still can lose my money. I hate that. So -1 I'll do, but not -1.5, not +1.5, generally speaking. Better to tie than to get your money back losing the ticket. Yes, in professional gambling, anytime you don't lose your money, it's a victory as far as I'm concerned. When did you know that you could do sports betting for a living? What was your typical bankroll starting out? So bankroll depends on everyone. Excuse me. Don't ever use your rent money or your insurance payments to gamble. Hang on a second. I'm going to cough, but I'm going to mute. So don't use your insurance money or your children's college fund. Okay. Gambling should be with money that you have on the side that you can afford to lose. It's like lending money to a friend. It should be money that you can kiss goodbye. When I started out, I was still scouting baseball for one of the Major League Baseball teams. I think I had about a $10,000 bankroll, just rolling with that. But I wasn't real smart back then. I still wasn't making my own lines and stuff like that. I was a scout more than anything. WagerTalk brought me on in 2020. When the pandemic hit, American sports were all disappeared. So they brought me on and I started doing Asian baseball only. And I became #1 at WagerTalk my first year. So they let me do more sports. They let me do too many, actually. I tried college basketball, college football, and I failed miserably. That's why you never hear me mention the year 2023, because I got crushed in 2023 because I did sports that I'm not good at. So anyways, when WagerTalk brought me on, that's it, man. They're a great company, great customer service. And that's when I just shifted all my efforts into doing this. And yeah, I spend about 6 hours a day doing my numbers and projections. Whole world is on the Cubs, but it looks like they might be bullpenning with Taillon scratched. Yeah, they're going with Pomerantz and Liberatore. But the Cubs are hitting better than the Cardinals, so be careful there. Cardinals are a good team. And yeah, Cubs are a great home team, though. So I'm staying away from that, though, because too many X factors. Like I said, if there's an X factor in it, I'm not going to bet it. That's another rule of sports betting. Like, don't bet with your heart. You got to be ice cold when you do this. Even if you like the Cubs, there's too many X factors. So I'm off that game. I just look at it. Boom, I'm off that. Forget it. Again, we have 20 blackjack hands here. You can look at every single hand and say, I'm not playing this. I'm not playing this. Oh, I'll play this one. So we have an advantage. So we have to use it. Exactly. You can't be a fan. Got to be cold as ice. No suckers here. If there's no suckers here, don't bet those stupid home run props and those stupid yerfy-nerfy stuff. Yes, exactly. Well, maybe. There might be exceptions, but I can't think of any right now. You're asking me about the Braves? Let's see. How are the Braves looking today? What do they got? Again, this is a game that has, I think, too many X factors in it. Let me take a look. Where's the Braves? Yeah. Kremer versus Bummer. I don't know what to expect from Bummer. And Bummer is a minus 155 favorite. If anything, I think the Orioles have a shot in that game. But I haven't really broken it down because I'm not going to waste time on a game with so many X factors. So I didn't do the cap. But if anything, I think Baltimore would be a live dog in that one. No way Bummer should be favored, and Atlanta's bats are pretty cold. The Orioles are hitting really well right now. So Orioles with plus money would probably be a good bet today. But that's not a professional cap. That's just off the top of my head. I would certainly dig deeper into the numbers and see how Kremer has done against the Braves in his career and things like that. You don't like Liberatore? Well, the Cubs are hitting really well, and they're a great home team. I think I just saw they're 24-17 at home. Cardinals have a losing record on the road, but it's a bullpen game. So how much do you trust their bullpen? So got smoked with Nerfy yesterday. Don't bet that stuff, you guys. It's like crack cocaine. Don't bet that stuff, man. How often do I keep up with news in sports? Every day. And what news? I'll check the MLB news to see if anyone got injured or to see if anyone got banned for gambling or stuff like that. A lot of people bet dogs, tell them not to. No. See, this is another thing about sports betting is you can't just set a rule like that. Like, I will never bet so-and-so, or I will never bet minus 160. I will never bet underdog. You can't set rules like that. Every game has to be different. So, you have to make your own line. So just with my eye test on that Orioles game, Kremer versus Bummer, was it, for Atlanta, and Baltimore's hot, and I would set that line as even, just inside my head, off the top of my head. And Atlanta is minus 155. So yeah, there's value on the underdog in that game, in my opinion, but that's not a professional cap. But Hanshin Tigers, I'll show you. I'm going to share my screen in just a minute, and I will show you how I do Japanese games in just a minute. So hang on there. Again, get my deal down there. The little scroller there. The rest of 2025 for $2.85 a day. I'm the number one capper in 2025 plus 75 units. I have a 4% play today in Major League Baseball, which is a side. It's actually a money line. It's not a -1. So, anyways, 7 days of my plays, TB7. Use the code TB7 when you check out with a 7-day pass. Why are Japanese baseball totals so low? I'm going to talk about Japanese baseball in just a minute, but they're so low because Japan has very few power hitters, and they have a lot of major league quality pitchers. Otani, Darvish, Sugano, name a Japanese pitcher, Sasaki, Imanaga. Japan has so many good pitchers, and they have just as many good pitchers in Japan than there are in Major League right now. Imanaga wasn't even like one of the elite pitchers out here. Sugano was not an elite pitcher out here. Yamamoto was elite out here. Yes. Sasaki was elite. Otani was elite. Darvish was elite. But guys like Sugano and Imanaga, there's guys here in Japan better than both of those guys, even right now. So, but that's why it's so low. Yeah, game totals are like 5 in Japanese games. Have I made a little jaunt down to Thailand? Yes, I've been to Thailand before. What's the income tax rate in Japan? Wow, you guys are giving me some really good questions. The consumer tax is 7% in Japan. 5%, sorry. 5% consumer tax in Japan. Income tax is really low, but the interest rates are very low out here. And when you invest money, so in the US, when you invest your money, you expect to get like, 7 to 9% on your investment. But in Japan, the rates are like 1 to 2%. So it's bad. If you're investing money in Japan, the rates are terrible. But if you're buying a house, it's really good. I actually bought my house in Japan. The tax on my house was, or the interest rate for my loan on my house, you guys can, it's 1.1% my interest rate loan. It's awesome. In America, it's like 9%, 13% or something like that. Anyway, you make a living, never live. Other income, betting is your only source of income. Well, I do other things, but this is my main income. Yeah. I do some things on the side, but this is plenty for me. If you're going to learn how to bet a new sport, it costs money just like school. Yes, betting a new sport is difficult. You should bet what you know. I know baseball really well, and I know Asian basketball pretty well too. But you can learn a new sport. It's possible. What's good to be? Thank you guys for tuning in. Please do me a huge favor and go to the replay when I'm done. I'm extending the time because WagerTalk told me I can. Johnny told me I can because there's no shows after this. So here, Japanese baseball. Do not take -1s in Japanese baseball because Japanese baseball can end in a tie. And things that end in a tie, you lose a -1 bet. Especially in games where the total is only 5 runs. Don't do -1s. Trust me. You will lose more than you win. Talk about Braves. I talked about the Braves for earlier. So yeah, I like the Orioles actually, but I haven't actually broke it down that much. But let's see. Do you believe in trap games in baseball? The phrase is thrown out a lot. No, I don't believe in that shit. And there's a lot of stuff that orthodox cappers always talk about, and I just think it's complete BS. The wind in Chicago, total BS. Umpires, this and that, it's just BS. I don't pay attention to any of that crap. The team that hits better and throws better is going to win. That's what I believe. So that's all. Yeah, I mean, there's some things about the human factor that I do believe in. Like if you're traveling overnight and you play off a double header and you have to play the next day, you're going to be flat. But the fact that guys, here's another human factor. When I was a scout, this actually does come into play. When a pitcher pitches against a team that released him, he's up for that game. Trust me. And we saw that yesterday. What's his face? He got released by Atlanta, and he came back and he pitched well against them. I mean, this happens. Was it Morton? Yeah, Morton had a great game, and Atlanta released him. And these guys they remember that shit. Believe me, they remember that. I've been around these guys. They have egos bigger than mine, and they remember that stuff. Yeah, well, I don't know if I'm going to do a parlay yet, guys. So hang on. Hammer K is the lock. There's no such thing as a lock. I will. Let's see. Looks like some of the big boys SPs are going in the NPB. I'm going to look at Japanese baseball in just a minute. Whenever in doubt, NPB under, yes. And parlaying NPB unders, you can stretch the totals out to like 7.5 and bet unders in parlays. It's really good. Parlay. Small ball really well. So totals reflect. Yes, there's a lot of bunting, a lot of run producing. Happy man needs 2 things in life. -1 favorites and Japanese chicks in tight leather pants. You got it. You got it. If you guys follow me on Twitter at Tokyo_Brandon, you'll see I do like Asian women in leather pants. That's for sure. Not burdened with a huge defense, but we're getting into politics now, huh? No, actually, America basically pays for Japan's defense. So, but that's in Japan's constitution. Do you know, at the end of World War II, I'm not going to get into politics and geopolitics too much, but at the end of World War II, America basically just crushed Japan with a nuclear bomb, and America rewrote Japan's constitution, and they made Japan a pacifist nation. So Japan is not allowed to have a military. And in return, America agreed to defend Japan. So that's the history. I'm not pro this and that. I'm American. Of course, I love America. But the facts of the matter are that Japan is not allowed to send their military outside of Japan. So America basically has a duty to protect Japan due to America basically rewriting Japan's constitution in 1945. So that's off topic. So let's get back to gambling. Thanks for doing this. Another great show. You are welcome. See you Monday. I watch you guys every day. Appreciate it. Total bases, 9 a.m. Eastern, Monday through Friday. What are your thoughts on the Nippon game? I'm going to get to Japanese baseball in just a minute. You went with the Rays. I can't argue with that. Total bases plus TV is TV squared. I love it. Did you do the Rays? The Rays was the first game I covered today. Do I prefer money line or totals? My money lines are winning more, but I'm not partial to anything. This is another thing about being a gambler. You can't be partial. You have to look at the teams, the matchups, and make your own lines, and then be partial after that. You can't be partial out of the gate. If I guess your 4%, will you give it? No. It's the only play I have today. I can't just give it out. I'll give you everything else, though. Best bookie today. Thanks again, TB. Thank you. Japanese use smaller bats. No pun intended. That's funny. But actually, the bats are the same size. The balls are different size, though. AC/DC. Big balls. No. The balls are a different size, which is why Japanese pitchers do struggle when they go over to the United States. You saw Sasaki struggling this season. Yamamoto, who's a Cy Young contender this year, he struggled last year because they got to get used to the ball. The stitching is different, and actually, from what the pitchers tell me, I know the Japanese word tsuya. The texture of the ball is different as well. So got to be careful with first-year Japanese pitchers. They're always going to struggle with the new ball. The texture and the size is a little different, and the stitching is different too. No, they do not use smaller bats. The bats are the same size, guys. Yeah, America rewrote Japan's constitution and said that Japan cannot be a military nation. Japan has to be a pacifist nation. So Japan calls their military the SDF, which stands for Self-Defense Forces. So Japan's military is not allowed to go overseas. So America has to protect them. So not politics or anything. It's just a fact. That's how it goes. America spends a lot of money to protect Japan, but America made that rule. Japan doesn't want to be pacifist. They would much rather rewrite their own constitution and go outside and do what America's doing. But anyways, is it NPB or KBO that has odd rules for playoffs ending in a tie? There's not really odd rules, but the KBO has a weird setup for their playoff system. What they do is they rank 1 through 6, and the number 1 team waits while the 5 plays the 6, and the winner of that plays the 4, winner of that plays the 3, winner of that plays the 2, and then the winner of that plays the 1. It's a really weird playoff system for KBO. In Japan, they play until there's a winner. So see. Comments are rolling in. Okay, getting a lot of comments on Japan. So I'm going to do a Japanese baseball. I'm going to share my screen here. Japan has late been doing more to protect themselves, more investment in their military. Not, I don't know. Depends on what you consider the military. They are spending on defense, but it's not to be aggressive because they're not allowed to be aggressive. Oh, okay. Maybe there's a new rule that I'm not aware of. When playoff time comes around, I'll be more privy to the playoff rules. But right now, no. Yeah, it's 2:30 in the morning here in Japan, but I'm still sticking with you guys. We got 759 viewers, and I'm going to keep going. We're going to do Japanese baseball now. So I'm going to share the screen. So I won't be able to read the comments for a moment. Bear with me. So this is MLB. Let's change this to Japanese. So the Japanese site that I use is all Japanese. So this is the Japanese site that I use. So unfortunately, the visuals are going to be a little dry for you guys. Unfortunately, there's nothing I can do about it. I could translate it to English, but then that'll throw me off. So tomorrow's NPB games. And actually my spreadsheet for Japanese baseball is also a lot in Japanese. So hang on, Japanese baseball. So a lot of this is in Japanese, unfortunately. See, I can read it, but you guys probably can't. So unless we have anyone that speaks Japanese out there. So, yeah, this is visually probably not going to be very pleasing for you guys, but just I'll do one game. We got Chunichi going against Yakult tomorrow. And the first thing I do, this is going to look weird. I'm not going to spend too much time on it because I know you guys can't read this. So we got Matsuba, pitcher, going against Avila. So let me just do this real quick. Matsuba going against Avila. So this is how I do Japanese. I go dictions and I paste it in here. And we can see Chunichi here and Yakult here. So offense, they're both pretty bad. There's 12 teams. So out of 12 teams, Chunichi offense ranks 11. Yakult ranks 8. Bullpen, Chunichi great. Yakult is one of the worst. And then starting pitchers tomorrow, I like Matsuba a lot. I don't like Avila. So up here is the difference, 2.66 difference. I'd like it to be around 4 for me to play this. So I probably maybe won't play it. But looking at how poorly Yakult hits, and let's see, do we have numbers for this on, do we have Japanese numbers out yet? We do. Okay, so let's take a look. Chunichi and Yakult. Here we go. We got an over under 4.5. Oof, that's pretty low. Over under 4.5. And we got Chunichi as a minus 142. So I don't like them as a minus 142, but definitely we might be able to do something with this 4.5. Team totals 2.5, 1.5 for Yakult. Oof. Yeah, that's a little low. I was hoping Yakult would be like 2.5, 3.5, and I would think about an under. But in this case, I probably will not. As you noticed here in my menu, Walker Buehler's walks here. I still have it bookmarked. So that's how I do Japanese baseball, guys. The pitchers are good and the hitters are bad, generally speaking. I'm going to flip it back to Major League Baseball because this Japanese is probably not entertaining for you guys because you can't read the screen. If any of you out there can read Japanese, then we can speak Japanese together maybe. But so I do like Walker Buehler's walks over, what was it, 2+. So 2+ means 1.5 over, basically. If he gets 2, you win this, right? That's only minus 185. But we could parlay this. As I showed you earlier, I like the Washington-Boston over 7 at minus 3. I think we could parlay those together. Let's take a look. We can make a play together here, guys. I'll show you why I like the Nationals. Boston. We got Boston. Oops, I'm still in Japanese mode. There we go. Boston, Washington. And who was Washington? 2 o'clock in the morning, guys. A little slack. Look up Washington's pitcher, and I'm going to show you why I like the over in this game. We got Mitchell Parker and Walker Buehler. Guys, I can't read the chat right now, so I'm sure many of you said, it's Parker, but I can't read it. Hang on. Walker Buehler. So I don't have numbers for Walker Buehler, but I can tell you that both of these bullpens out of 30 rank 20 or worse. And both of these hitting teams are hitting really well right now. And I have Mitchell Parker ranked 26 on a curve of 30. I'm sure Walker Buehler will be towards the bottom. By the way, this is my starting pitcher rankings. 1 through 20. And if we have Walker Buehler, there he is. Oh, third from the bottom out of 200 pitchers. So yeah, he's bad. So I love an over in this one. As a matter of fact, I'm going to make that a parlay. So I like the over here. So how can we use it to our advantage? Well, DraftKings lets you go to game lines here, and it lets you choose your total. If I could do, look at that, Walker Buehler to walk 2 or more people plus the total of the game over 7. We can get that for minus 120. I'm going to make that a play, guys. That's a great play. So, yeah, I like that. I like that a lot. So, he shot that. Woof. That's a good play. So I didn't share my play with you, but I made a play with you in Major League Baseball. I'm going to make that 2%, maybe 3% play. Put it out there for my clients right after this show is over. Let's see the comments. I'm going to close the show out pretty soon. We've been going for an hour and 40 minutes here. Johnny Detroit is long gone, right? Kate, ¿cómo está usted? Nice to see you back, Kaz. My MPB picks are fire. Are they? Yeah, I mean, all my picks are fire. I'm number 1 at WagerTalk, so not to brag. Let's see. Buehler walks. It's not juiced, actually. It's only minus 180 on, from what I just saw. It's only minus 180, so not too bad. You repeat that play. Yes. Walker Buehler 2+ walks, and the Washington Nationals game, Boston Red Sox game over 7 at minus 120. That's the play I'm going to put out. That's my favorite pick of the day, guys. I do have a 4% play that I put out. If you look down there, wt.buzz/TB is my page at WagerTalk. 2 specials right now. The rest of 2005 for $2.85 a day. No code needed. You'll see that special on my page. And also TB7 to get 7 days for $69. If you put a 7-day deal in your cart at WagerTalk, when you check out, you use TB7 and they'll give it to you for $69. I am the number 1 capper in profit at WagerTalk 4 of the last 5 years. Pretty good stuff. I'm a pretty good capper, not to pat myself on the back, but my brain is running out of juice right now. It's 2:40 in the morning in Tokyo. I do have a 4% play out. I'm going to end the show here. I will be back next Saturday. Do me a huge favor, guys. It takes you 5 seconds and it costs you 0 money. But if you would go back to the replay of this video, leave me a comment and click the like button, I would sincerely appreciate it. It helps my reputation, and it tells WagerTalk that you guys are engaged with me and like me, and management will give me many compliments. And that's what we're all here for, the praise and the compliments, right? You want more. You want me to go past 3 a.m., huh? No. Anyways, I appreciate you guys. One last question. How do I feel about Samsung tonight? Give me a minute. I will give you my thoughts on that in just a minute. We've got LG, Hernandez going against Jurado. Depends on the line, but right off the top of my head, I like Samsung here, actually. But depends on the line. I would take Samsung at minus 115 or better. If it's anything that, then don't do it. Again, sports betting. We get dealt many hands. We can look at our hand and give it back to the dealer. So don't ever be shy to give your hand back to the dealer. Bet only what you're very confident on because you're only going to win a few of them. And even the best bettors in the world win only 56 to 58%. And that's an amazing rate. That's basically the rate I'm at in 2025. And it's very hard to do. So, okay, I'm going to end it now, guys. I appreciate it. Go to the replay, leave a comment, and click the like. I would very much appreciate it. And I will answer them after I go to sleep and wake up. I gave you a play out. And I told you exactly how I do my capping. I will be back next Saturday for another 2-hour extravaganza, maybe an hour, maybe 2 hours. We'll see. Plan a vacation next year. No matter where you go, it'll be epic. Actually, my next vacation, I'm going to Arizona in September. On the 14th of September, I'm going to Arizona. If anyone's at the Desert Diamond Casino in Arizona, I will be there almost every day, I imagine. So we can meet up. Samsung's minus 130, a little rich for my blood. But I do like Samsung, but maybe not at that price. Have a great night, TB. Thank you, guys. The best thing you can do for me is to click the like and comment on the replay. And tell WagerTalk how much you like me. That's all, guys. I'm going to sign off. Appreciate you guys. I will be back next Saturday at noon Eastern. Catch Total Bases, where I argue with Adam and Brian for an hour every morning Eastern time, 9 a.m. Same place, same bat channel. Maybe next week I can sing for some prizes again, like I did last week. Anyways, appreciate you guys being here. You guys make me who I am. I appreciate it. I had a sad 4th of July. I really miss being around my people. You guys are my people. I'm American, 100% full-blooded American, and I really miss being out there sometimes. But you guys make it worth it, and you guys really make me feel good with all your comments. I appreciate it. Ethan, you're always here with the Total Bases. Steve Duke, I know you're in Arizona, but yeah, we can DM me. We can maybe get together at Desert Diamond. Was that on the 202 or the 101? I forgot, but it's up there. It's up there near Sun City, right? Yeah, that's the one I go to. Anyways, again, sad 4th of July for me, but I hope you guys had a good one. These holidays are the times where I don't like living abroad. It's sad, but you guys are my people, and I love being around my people, and you guys make me feel a lot less homesick. So thank you for being here for me. And I'll be here again, Total Bases Monday morning. Catch it. I'll see you guys later.